The May 26, 2020 meeting of the Richmond Sanitary District Board of Commissioners. The first item of business is approval of board minutes from May 12th of 2020.
President Miller?
Yes, Mr. Bakshi?
Motion to approve the minutes from May 12, 2020 as presented.
And I think that was the second. Couldn't catch your voice very well over there. But we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the May 12th, 2020 meeting. Is there any further discussion or comments? If not, Jess, will you call the roll?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Back to, I guess, our other questions. Should we see who all is in attendance for Jess's records? Because we have a couple identified just with phone numbers and a couple of groups. Sue Miller is here. Aman Bakshi, Jeff Lowe Miller, Elijah Welch. Who else at the City of Richmond office there?
Greg Stevens.
Pat Smoker.
Walt Chittister.
Jessica Foster.
Okay. We've got Denise.
Hello.
Somewhere. Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
I see your name. And then we have someone at 937-275-7711.
I think I'm muted.
I heard you now.
This is Dennis with Protective Coatings Incorporated.
Okay, thank you. And okay. And then we also have someone at 765-983-7450.
That would be Todd Hobson.
Okay. Thank you. The next item of business is approval of invoices from check date May 8th and 15th of 2020.
President Miller?
Yes, Mr. Steens.
I'll make a motion to approve invoices for check date run May 8th and 15th, 2020, totaling $586,596.37. We had some significant invoices. First from Commonwealth Engineers for $23,234.50. 3 different payments to Whitewater Construction of $31,653.60. $15,826.80. and $31,653.60. Also to Permit Equipment Incorporated for, this is for 2 commercial trash trucks, $347,800. Quality Repair Service, $11,610. And Richmond Power and Light, $58,106.13.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve invoices from check date May 8th and 15th of 2020, totaling $586,596.37. Is there any further question or comment? If not, Jess, will you call the roll?
Aman?
Aye.
Greg?
Aye.
Sue?
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. The next item of business is director's report. Pat, do you have anything for us today?
Just a little. Spring cleanup, once the pandemic lockdown was in effect, was tentatively postponed until the fall. Notices were sent out with the bills, but I wanted to say it here as well. Solid waste is currently looking for an ideal date range that will not conflict with leaf pickup. And we will let everyone know when the new date is set, as well as what this year's procedure will be. The budget process has started as well, and I'm kind of looking for tentative dates for when we can have our workshop, probably sometime in July would be my guess.
Regarding the spring cleanup, obviously we're still sort of messy. We always notice in the spring a little bit more. Are there certain pickups that can happen if people have items? Are we doing that during at this point in time, and what can people be doing?
We are doing special pickups, so they just need to call in the 765-983-7450. If they call by Friday, the Monday following, they would have their special pickup ran. And as normal, it's the yard waste or 3 large items or 6 bags of miscellaneous.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else, Pat?
That's it for now.
Okay, thank you. Our next item of business is receive bids for the digester lid painting and spot repair. And Greg, do you have those? Okay.
First bid is from Protective Coatings Incorporated of Dayton, Ohio. Their quote is for $96,000. Their quote is valid until June 30th, 2020. Oh.
It's kind of small. Oh, you won't write that one. Paper clips.
The next bid is from Ohio Valley Painting Company Incorporated of Dayton, Ohio. Their quote is for $111,488, and their quote is valid until July 27th of 2020.
Was that all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, generally at this time we offer bidders to review. I don't know that we've discussed that when we've had these Zoom meetings. Do we need to make sure that if they want to see the bids, that they can?
Yeah, Walt says they can come to the office and look at them if they would like.
Okay. Okay. So at this point in time, we will refer those bids to management for a recommendation at a later meeting. Should any of our bidders wish to review them, they can make arrangements to go down to the administration building and see them. We thank everyone who did bid. The next item of business is a recommendation to approve change order number 3 for the wastewater treatment plant improvements project.
Yes, Madam President and Board. This is a change order that I think I talked a little bit about last time. It's part 2 of a request for proposals that we had asked Kokosing, which is our treatment plant contractor, to give us some pricing on. If you remember, towards the end of last year, we had been talking to our current INC contractor there at the treatment plant, and they had indicated that they were unable to meet some of the requests that we had made as far as being able to timely get some upgrades done that we needed to have done, and a major one being converting over to a newer version of software. The version of SCADA software that we were running was only compatible with Windows XP, and therefore we were basically hoping that nothing failed. Otherwise, we would be in a real problem spot when it comes to being able to continue to operate our SCADA. This was originally in their plan to get done for us last year, and that did not happen. So we looked at what other options we had, and one of the things, it needed to be done prior to some of the SCADA work that was happening on our treatment plant project. So we saw the two options, which is basically to find another contractor somewhere that could do it, or reach out to our SCADA contractor or INC contractor through our treatment plant project, and get some pricing from them. We ultimately chose the latter, basically for two reasons. One, they're a reputable contractor dealing with this type of stuff, and two, we felt like it made a lot of sense to not try to involve a third party that would be competing against some deadlines to get things done for this other contractor that's already going to be working here. So we reached out and got some pricing for some of these upgrades. So it includes basically upgrades, changing over to a newer version of the software, setting it up for a cold standby backup. And this is two options that we had considered and got some pricing on. The cold standby is basically we have another computer on the shelf that has the software on it, and all we would have to do is basically unplug, if there were a failure, unplug the computer that we're using, plug this other one in, and it would basically take off from where the other one left off. The other option to that was having a completely redundant online system, but the cost of that was $20,000, and so we felt like this made a lot of sense financially not to go with that option. It still provided us a quick turnaround if something were to happen, and in the future, if we decide we need to go to that other option, we've been told it's not going to cost us more than it would now. So it's not like we'd have to duplicate the setup or change the setup that we're currently going forward with tremendously. It would basically just be adding that additional software and setup. It's basically a licensing thing is a big portion of that extra cost. This also updates our call-out software, historical data collection, hardware and software. It implements iFix web space, which is basically allows some additional remote access, more users to be able to get on and work on the SCADA as a whole, which will be beneficial as we move down the road and have more people actually, carrying a tablet, using that SCADA on a daily basis throughout everybody's shift. And then it also does some graphics upgrades that we've been needed as well. So we've reviewed overall the documentation and feel like this is the way to go forward. So it's my recommendation to approve change order number 3 with Cocosian Industrial for our treatment plant project. And this adds item number 8 to the project, and it's in response to RFP 002 Part 2. And it adds $92,676.20 to the project.
Elijah, the cold standby part, is there off-site backup?
Yes, there is. So our data would be protected. What wouldn't be protected, I guess, is the unit itself. So if the computer goes down, the software, that's what some of this is. It's backing up that data. So we just need to plug in this new computer, which would run the system basically, but it would pull from that data that had been logged and protected. I think that's what some of that historian is, and it allows for that backup.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Miller?
Yes, Mr. Bakshi.
Motion for recommendation to approve change order number 3 for the wastewater treatment plant improvements project phase 1 in the amount of $92,676.20.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve change order number 3 with the wastewater treatment plant phase 1 improvement projects for in a total of $92,676.20. Any further questions or comments? If not, Jess, will you call the roll?
Amon,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item of business is the project status update.
Yes. First projects are Northwest 13th Street Interceptor project. The siphon boring is, so all the submittals have been approved. And so we anticipate them to get on site sometime later this week and begin setting up for that bore to happen here very soon. So we'll be seeing more. It won't take, once they get started, they basically have to continue until they finish. So it won't take a lot of time once they get started and begin. But hopefully that'll happen here very soon. Second project's our CS06 storage project. The asphalt base has all been placed on that. And they met last week with Milestone Contracting. They're going to be the sub for Brackney on this part of it. They'll be laying the final surface hopefully later this week. They've completed the seeding and mulching, and so really just have the final asphalt surface and a few other things to get that project all wrapped up. And we'll be doing a final change order here at some point in the near future on that, and hopefully, like I mentioned in the past, we've been able to do some things to reduce the amount of storm work required. So there should be some savings captured on that project when we're all said and done. Next projects is our treatment plant project, and submittals are still ongoing. Crews have been digging for the aeration splitter and utility relocations, doing some excavation and really getting ready to start the main dig for the box itself. 3 aeration tanks have been drained. One final clarifier is still down. And SCADA coordination is ongoing, as you can tell with the last change order that we just approved. Project 4 is our wastewater treatment plant sludge thickening project. They've been working on some punch list items. I know still have a little bit left to do, but hopefully later this week they will get that mostly all wrapped up. So that was the goal by the end of May here. Next projects are College Avenue sewer separation project. We had done some additional potholing, and so we've got that data now, and hopefully we'll be able to move forward with the solution. It's the potholing just I guess clarifies the difficulty of this particular project and the extent that we need to build something to be able to separate it. But we do have several. We've come up with 3 different options, and we're working with our on-call contractor right now to help vet those and the constructability of each in order to move forward with the solution here early this summer. The next projects are Westside Interceptor project. Just last week, we received 50% plans for review. So we have a meeting scheduled for, I think, late this week, Thursday or Friday, to discuss those 50% plans with the consultant, with the designer, and we'll be making tweaks and asking questions and commenting on those, and then move forward with final design once we have that meeting, and any kind of tweaks that go along with it. One other thing with that particular project is we've been coordinating with the trail designer that will be designing and constructing a connector trail between the Cardinal Greenway and Veterans Park area, that trailhead that goes south from there. Basically, they'll be building a trail that goes up that hill and connects those 2 things, which is where we'll be putting an additional siphon to our system and connecting the east side to the west side, or really vice versa, west side to east side, but we've been working with them that way. Nobody tears anything up, and we can kind of coordinate how all that goes in together. Next project is our treatment plant levy project, and we held a design meeting last week. Went over a few things, and I think we've been able to determine that it'll make the most sense, mainly because of some permitting timelines, to actually move that to next year's project list. This is one where we had, in one of the funds, council had reduced it, and we were going to have to come back and appropriate that money this year. So that works. We'll just put it in next year's budget and plan to move forward with it. Very first thing next year, we'll get that out and bid. So, and then the last project, since we're not having a stormwater meeting, the 2019 miscellaneous storm sewer project is complete. All the asphalt has been put in, and we're tabulating a final change order now, which we'll likely bring up to the next board meeting. And that's all I have, unless somebody has questions.
Sue's muted.
I had phone ringing and everything here. Okay. Are there any, thanks, Elijah. Are there any questions? If not, that takes us to miscellaneous. Does anyone have any other business to bring before the board today? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Jess, call the roll, please.
Amon,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Sue,
Aye.
3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you.